Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Naranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Nora Premanandi Hare Hare Krishna. I need the book, please, for the class. The book. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sivaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 1, Text 55. Esha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha sangad viliyate. Esha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha sangad viliyate.
Purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha sangad viliyate. Esha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha
prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad sangena purushasya viparyayaha nachirad Esha sangha viliyate. Esha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha sangha viliyate. Esha prakriti sangena purushasya viparyayaha asitsa eva nachirad Esha sangha viliyate. Esha, this prakriti sangena, because of association with the material nature, purushasya, of the living entity, viparyaya, a situation of forgetfulness or an awkward position, asit, came to be, saha, that position, eva, indeed, na, not, chirat, taking a long time, Esha sangat, from the association of the Supreme Lord, viliyate, is vanquished. Translation. Since the living entity is associated with material nature, he is in an awkward position. But if in the human form of life he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, this position can be overcome. Purport. The word Prakriti means material nature, and Purusha may also refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one wants to continue his association with Prakriti, the female energy of Krishna, and be separated from Krishna by the illusion that he is able to enjoy Prakriti, he must continue in his conditional life. If he changes his consciousness, however, and associates with the Supreme Original Person, Purusham Shashwatam, or with his associate, he can get out of the entanglement of material nature. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Jamma karma chame divyam evamyo veti tattvataha. One must simply understand the Supreme Person, Krishna, in terms of his form, name, activities, and pastimes. This will keep one always in the association of Krishna. Tyaktadeham punarjamma naiti mameti sorjuna. Thus, after giving up his gross material body, one accepts not another gross body, but a spiritual body, in which to return home back to Godhead. Thus, one ends the tribulation caused by his association with the material energy. In summary, the living entity is an eternal servant of God, but he comes to the material world and is bound by material conditions because of his desire to lord it over matter. Liberation means giving up this false consciousness and reviving one's original service to the Lord. This return to the one's original life is called mukti, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Mukti hitanyata rupam swarupena vyavastiti. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the Yamadutas are speaking, and they seem that they know the reality of life. How can they know, being Yamadutas? Because they have their master Yamaraj who instructed them in the knowledge of the transcendental reality of the living entity. So all living entities in this world are in great illusion because the material energy is so powerful, although the spirit soul is much more powerful and higher than the matter, the material energy, but because the spirit souls, they want to enjoy material nature, they're controlled by it. It's like oil and water, they don't mix together. The oil will float on surface of the water, but can be taken by the current of the water. Same way, what moves the living entity is just desire, and when the living entity wants to desire, when the living entity desires to enjoy the material energy, then his karma began in a subtle way. So, but we know from Brahma Samhita, karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam, that by executing devotional service one can burn all karma, gradually, of course. It's like a fan, you know. When you turn off the fan, it doesn't stop immediately. It takes a little while until it completely stops. When Prabhupada was in his family life, one of his small children always wanted to put his finger in the fan. He always had to chastise him, no, you will hurt yourself. But one day one of his friends came to visit and he saw what's going on. So he advised something, Prabhupada, he whispered something in his ear. And Prabhupada smiled, he turned off the fan, and when it was at the point of stopping, Prabhupada told his son, okay, put your finger in. He put his finger in, he stopped the fan with his finger. He wasn't hurt or anything, but he got frightened. Then Prabhupada turned the fan back again, put your finger again. No. So we are like that. We need to learn our lesson by suffer a little bit. Actually, the so-called suffering in this world, I say so-called because the soul is not affected by it, really. Only the consciousness of the identifying oneself with the mind and the body that causes the suffering, actually. Paritushyati sharira. That's what Vyasadeva asks his disciple. Narad Muni asks his disciple Vyasadeva. Does it please you to identify the soul with the mind and the body? I mean, he was advising him to write Srimad Bhagavatam, but he told him, you mixed devotional service with jnana and karma, so that's not so good. You have to speak about pure devotional service, and that's why he advised him to write Srimad Bhagavatam, Amala Purana. So here in the history of Ajamil and the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas having a big discussion about the living entities. Of course, Yamadutas, they have a great respect for the Vishnuduta. They understood they are coming from Vaikuntha. They are not ordinary living entities. And the Yamaduta tell them, okay, you are above all these things, material, but other people are not. The majority of the people in this world are just materialists. And they do sinful activity, and it is our duty to take them to Yamaraj to be judged, you know. It happened once, a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a married devotee, after his guru left this world, gradually he fell in bad association and gave up chanting, gave up, you know, even gave up vegetarian. He began eating meat, drinking wine, he going with prostitutes, doing all kind of bad things, you know. And one, of course, he died one day. He died. He was old enough. He died, and he went to the Yamaraj. So Yamaraj has a secretary. What was the name of the secretary? Yamaraj? Chandragupta? Chitragupta, yes. Chitragupta will handle the most easy cases, and the most difficult one, he will send them to Yamaraj. So that was the arrangement between them, you know. So Chitragupta then came to this devotee case. So your case is complicated, go to Yamaraj. So he went to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj looked at his record, you know, everything. He asked him, have you done anything good in your life? Yamaraj asked, well, yes, I was initiated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Oh, my pranams, his great personality. Well, your case needs a special, you know, solution. So he meditated on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Yamaraj, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta appeared there in the court of Yamaraj. And he told him, here is your fallen disciple, you know, what we should do with him. I would like to know your opinion, your advice. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta chastised the disciple. Why you gave up devotional service? Why you did this all sinful activity? Oh, please forgive me, Gurudev. I fell in bad association, and you know, I'm such fool and rascal, and please forgive me. Okay, I will give you another chance. You are going back to your body again now. And go immediately to a temple and surrender there. Pass the rest of your life in devotional service, no sinful activity. You promise? Yes, I promise. So his body was at the point of being cremated. I mean, they were going to put the body in there. And suddenly he jumped. Wow, everybody, the family were there, you know, everybody was there. Oh, ghost came back, you know, entered the body. No, no ghost, it's me. So anyway, he told the story, you know, to them. And so he went to the temple of Gaudiya Mat, he surrendered, you know, full time, And years later, 10 years later, he gave up his body, but he was already, free from that. So it is real, it's not illusion, I remember in South America, I was preaching to a person for, some time, And sometime we go temple, but sometime not. But he was very much addicted to all kind of sinful activity. He will not give them up. So, and I told him many times, be careful, if you keep going like that, you may go to hell, suffer, No, I'm okay, I chant Hare Krishna, it's okay. But he will not give up, the bad things. And it happened that something happened, he was killed, by the military or something. They were searching everybody's home for whatever, weapons, drugs, whatever. So he resisted being searched, and he has a dog who was gonna bite the policeman or something. So they killed the dog. So when they killed the dog, he became very angry. He took a knife to attack them, and then they killed him. And that night I had a dream. In the dream he said, the Hare Krishna were right. I'm sliding down to hell. It's too late now. I should have listened to you. Like that. So, this kind of things happen all the time, Remember the story of Sankirtan story. I think was in Philadelphia, one devotee distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, and he at the airport, and he handed one volume of Srimad Bhagavatam to one man and was explaining to him, and the man was looking at the paintings in the Bhagavatam, and suddenly he saw the picture where the Yamadutas take the soul out of the body, with the subtle body, and they're accompanied with dogs, and and how they throw, a subtle rope on the neck of and pull him out of the body, and all these things, So when the man saw that painting in the Bhagavatam, he became very nervous, and he became very, very, terrible. So, and he told the devotee, I saw these people, I had a heart attack, and I saw the same people here in this painting. They were going to take me, like I see it here, So, and the devotee, they preached to him, they call him down, they explained to him, yes, this is real, it's not fantasy or imagination. Hell is real, And if you live your life in a very sinful way, you have to go there and suffer, for a long, long time. So better, try to rectify, your life. So the man bought the book and visited the temple and start practicing Krishna consciousness, He said, no, I don't want to go there, At least out of fear, to become devotee is not so bad. It's better than, continue, in the sinful life. I just came from Las Vegas yesterday, and I wasn't been there like for maybe 12 years, 10 years, I don't remember, from the last other temple that was there. And I remember when the devotee picked me up at the airport to go to the temple, they passed through Sin City. It's a very proper name actually they give to. They know, they know this thing should not be done. Anyway, it was a big sign saying, welcome to Las Vegas. And they put 4 pictures, welcome. One picture was a bottle of wine, with the glass, Another picture was a steak, meat. The other picture was the roulette, the gambling. And the other, last one, half-naked woman dancing. And I thought to myself, this is crazy. all the four regulative rules that we say we should not do, for them to do all these things in one place is paradise, you know. If you can break all the principle in one place, it's wow. It's great. It's such a crazy world, isn't it? I mean, at the airport, everybody gambling with big machines, you know. Throwing away their money for nothing. It's crazy. It's completely crazy. I had a brother who was a gambler. Was, not anymore. He lost all his money. I mean, the casinos, and they will send him to South America. First class air ticket. 5-star hotel. For free, of course. Nothing is for free. Then he will go there and spend $20,000, $30,000. He will lose $30,000, $50,000 easily every time they invite him. So he broke, you know. His family abandoned him because he didn't have any money, nothing. And there are many cases, millionaires, you know, who lost everything there. You know, so that's why Yudhishthir Maharaj, you know, remember the story, he was gambling, you know. Kshatriyas are allowed to gamble. Because if they are challenged, they are not supposed to say no to challenges. Either for fighting the enemy or gambling or any sport, otherwise they will be considered cowards or something. So they have to say yes. No? But Yudhishthir Maharaj was teaching all the world how dangerous is gambling by his own example. That's so dangerous, you can lose everything. Your family, your home, even yourself. So it's very crazy. Not only the gambling, drugs also destroy people's lives. You know, we've seen so many young people destroyed life by drugs. You know, they lose their mind. They become absent-minded. I remember I had a friend who was so addicted to drugs. One day he just could not come back from the trip. He just was forever hanged up. You can't speak with him reasonably. He was completely out of his mind. So, padam padam na yatesham. Padam padam yavi padam natesham. So every step there is danger in this material world. And we have to be very careful. Very careful, you know. Prabhupada said the most important qualification of a devotee that is very careful avoiding sinful activities, you know. To do sinful, he's careful, you know, he's afraid to do sinful activity. He knows this will bring suffering, they'll bring bad result. So we have to use our God-given intelligence to know how things are and how we are conditioned by the mind and the body, and how by engaging them in the service of the Lord we can control them. Krishna controls them by his kindness and mercy. If we sincerely try, you know, it is possible. No? It is possible. So we are now, you know, the last week of Kartika, and we are worshipping Lord Damodar every day by singing Damodarastakam and offering the lamp. Actually, the lamp is a symbol. What we are offering actually is our heart to the Lord, you know, to accept us, you know. So it's not an easy thing to get out of this material life, material consciousness, because the soul has been in this material world for so long that, you know, practically speaking, almost impossible to get out. Because once they are conditioned to do certain things, they can't give it up. That's simple, you know. It becomes like a second nature. Only by the association, strong association of devotees, and by practicing Bhakti Yoga is the only way to overcome it. There is no other way. I mean, Prahlad Maharaj advised Kaumara Acharet Pragyo, from childhood start practicing Bhakti Yoga. But Prabhupada said even late beginners like us, I mean, it's so powerful, the process of Bhakti Yoga can change anybody's mind. Way of thinking, you know. That's the whole problem, the way of how we think things, how we see the world, you know, or cosmovision, how we see everything. Generally, people see the world as an object of their enjoyment, to exploit, to lord over, you know, to get some sense gratification from it. But the process of Krishna consciousness to change your mentality, to see the world differently, to see the world as the property of the Lord, as an energy of the Lord, and should be engaged in His service. Understanding that actually nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna. And if we have something, it is under our care. We are not the real proprietor, we are only the caretaker. So knowing that, we should never misuse any energy of the Lord, and we should try to use it in the service. At least part of it, I mean, pious people know. That's why you see when the Indian goes to a temple, they always bring something, you know. A bag of rice, you know, flowers, something, because they know. If I do this, you know, I will be in a better situation, even materially speaking. What to speak of spiritually, you know. I mean, once I went to a temple in Vrindavan, I think it was Radharaman temple or Banki Bihar, either one of them. And I saw, you know, one man praying to the Lord, you know. When we came out of the temple, I approached him and spoke to him and said, I saw you were praying very devotionally. He said, yes, I'm in some difficulty. I lost my job and I was praying to Krishna to help me find a better job. So I mean, they are pious. That means they are pious because they are approaching God when they are in need, you know. Remember, there are 4 kinds of people who approach Krishna. Those who are in need, those who are in distress, those who are curious to know, you know, and those who are seeking the truth. Krishna accepts all of them as very pious, you know, because they approach the Lord for their needs. But amongst them, the ones who seek the truth is considered more advanced, because more or less his motivation is spiritual, you know. Generally, those who are in distress, once they are relieved, or those who are in need, they get what they need, or curiosity is satisfied. They just don't continue in devotional service. It happens, you know. But if somebody continue no matter what, you know, then come to understand that Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, not just to ease our life, material life, or you know, relieve our distress, or get our material needs, whatever, or satisfy our curiosity, but it's much, much more than that. That's included, of course. All of these things are you know, they come as a byproduct. But the real thing is to develop love for God. I mean, to really love God is not an easy thing. At the same time, it's the easiest thing because it is in our heart already. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. The love of God that is in everybody's heart, but is not manifest, is dormant. Only the process of Bhakti Yoga can reawaken that love, that feeling, that sentiment. And that's what most important to Krishna, the intention, Bhava Grahi Janardana. That Krishna is in the heart, he knows the intention of somebody who's approaching him, So, more important than the practice itself is the motivation with which we do the practice. So, tell you one story about that. Two brothers went to visit Mathura. They wanted to visit the Keshava temple, very ancient temple of Krishna. And in Janmashtami, they wanted, they were from, good family, Brahman family and everything. And when they arrived, they were going on the road to the temple. And suddenly, heavy storm with a lot of rains, So one of them ran to one side, to find a shelter. But the other one kept running toward the temple, even under the storm and the rain. So the one who went to one side to find shelter, without his knowledge, he entered the house of prostitutes. And his brother saw him, he's entering the house of prostitutes. But he went to the temple, So it happened that the devotee who was in the prostitute house, he was thinking, how rich I am, I am, my brother, he didn't mind to get wet, but to go to the temple, he must now be bathing the Lord and happily chanting the names of the Lord and association of devotee. How fortunate is he? How unfortunate I am. I have to be here to protect myself from the storm, in this horrible place. But the other devotee who was at the temple, he was thinking, my brother must be enjoying beautiful girls and nice wine, And I am here, in this austerity, So, you understand? You can be in the best place, but your mind can take you anywhere. And you can be in the worst place and you can be thinking of Krishna. That's why we have a saying, hell with Krishna is heaven, and heaven without Krishna is hell. So, and all rules and regulations are practically based on the fact that to help us always remember Krishna, never forget him. Of course, we should be careful not to, once a devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, is it true that the Guru will come back if the disciple doesn't get liberation? He will come back to rescue him? Prabhupada said, yes, but don't force me to take you out of the prostitute house. Hare Krishna. Anyway, all right, so is there any comments or questions? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Hare.
Example with the oil floating on the water and being carried away, and I at least I took it to one point you were sharing was how the soul doesn't really experience everything, exactly. It's more. So I was just kind of wondering, like we have the effect of samskara, positive, negative, all the things that we go through, and some of these, as you were pointing out, can be very, very, very deep.
Yes.
So I was just trying to, just understand that a little bit more. Like on the one hand, we are completely separate from the material energy, but on the other hand, we can be so deeply enmeshed in it, where it seems
attached to it. The whole problem is the attachment. And that's the whole thing, Like a monkey, he entered a house to look for food, and he found a jar with grapes, and he pushed his hand inside the jar, grabbed the grapes, but he could not take his hand out. But he will not let the grapes go anyway. So we are like that, you know. We want to enjoy material, but we are trapped. It's a trap. It's a trap, you know. It's a big trap. It's a big illusion. It's a prison house. We don't realize that because we think, oh, I can go anywhere, do whatever I want, you know. But we are in jail, you know. So yes, but the process of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna calls so powerful, can change our way of thinking, our mentality. That's the important thing, to change our way of thinking, you know. More spiritual, more philosophical, less materialistic, you know. And always to remember the reality. One day we are all of us gonna die. So better be ready, you know, be more prepared, you know. At least to get a better body next life, better birth, you know. Devotees, they are not afraid to die. Advanced devotees, they are not afraid to die. They're only afraid to forget Krishna at the time of death. So, devotees pray whatever. If you are my Lord, if you think I shall take one birth or more birth, that's all right. I only pray that you never allow me to forget you. You allow me always to have the company of your pure devotees. That's their prayer, you know. You can put me in forgetfulness, or you can remind me of you. So please don't put me in forgetfulness. It's like a man having a nightmare. A tiger is chasing him to eat him up, and he's in full panic, you know. So his crazy friend come to visit, and he see him having a nightmare. So his crazy friend, oh, my friend is being chased by a tiger. Let me sleep next to him, enter in his dream, and kill the tiger. That's the material proposition. They want to solve material problem with material solution, but it's not. An intelligent person, oh, wake up, my friend! You're having nightmares. There's no real tiger here, you know. But people who don't know the reality, oh, I have to enter the dream and kill the tiger, you know. Everybody is living a dream. There is an awakening dream, and night dream, and daydream. Once somebody will go to sleep, he has dreams, and while sleeping, you believe your dreams. You think they're real. But what happened to me some years ago, I had a dream. I was visiting devotees in Paris. You know? I stayed there for some years ago. And one devotee I knew, he invited me to have prasad together, you know, at the devotee's restaurant. So we went there having conversation. And in the middle of the dream, I told the devotee, I can't remember how I came to Paris. I was in South America. I don't remember catching a flight or a boat or anything. How I came here, I can't remember. My friend looked at me and said, you came in the chariot of the mind. And I woke up. I realized that I was dreaming, you know. The good thing is I was with devotees, you know, eating prasad. But I mean to say, the mind is like a chariot, takes you here and there, you know. So we have to train the mind, you know, to always think of Krishna, to remember Krishna, Takes a little practice, though. All right, no more questions. Thank you very much. Our friend on the internet have any question? Not today. The other Vijay. Hare Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Haribo.